Education MACC, Assistant Commissioner Yahya, Deputy Director of Malacca, Mr. Devan G. Nagapan, Executive Director of Malaysian Association of Private Colleges and Universities, and all VIPs. Before we start, let us sing the state anthem. Of Southern University College, the respected Senior Assistant Commissioner Sheikh Hamadi bin Sheikh Abdul Hamid, Deputy Director of MACC Johor, Senior Assistant Commissioner Muhammad Nur Luqman bin Samingan, Head of Education, Community Education MACC, Assistant Commissioner Zul Azmi bin Yahya, Deputy Director of MACC Malacca, Mr. Devan G. Nagapan, Executive Director of Malaysian Association of Private Colleges and Universities, Professor Dr. Teh Gyok Bee, President of Southern University College, Puan Hajah Inzura binti Haji Kosnin, Governor of Southern University College, Forum panelists and moderator, the Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission delegation, media representative, ladies and gentlemen. Assalamualaikum and a very good morning to everyone. My name is Nal Zahida and it's my pleasure to welcome you here to the International Anti-Corruption Day 2023, Uniting the World Against Corruption Forum. Before moving on, let us begin with a recitation of dua that will be led by Senior Assistant Superintendent Yunus bin Mohammed.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. In the name of God, the most gracious, the most merciful. Ya Allah, Ya Rahim. Praise be to God, the Lord of the worlds. Peace and blessings be upon our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and his companions, and for those who followed his example till the judgment day. Allahumma ya Allah, on this blessed morning, in conjunction with the International Anti-Corruption Day 2023, we beseech thee and grateful towards you in favor of all the infinite blessings to us, your humble servant, to live in safe and prosperous life. We seek your blessing for a flawless progress of this event from the beginning to the end. We seek your guidance to steer clear of events that would detrimental the progress of this event. Ya Latif, Ya Rahman, please bless us with your tawfiq and hidayah. Please guide us to greatness, peace, glory and prosperity in this world and the hereafter. Make us a responsible intellectual. Granted us with a valuable knowledge that will be beneficial to mankind in order to gain your madatilah. Make us your righteous servant that follow your commands and neglect the sinful act. Please forgive us for our wrongdoing. Ya Munzil al-Barakah, bestow peace to our beloved country Malaysia. Preserve us from any threat and disaster, neither man-made nor natural disaster. And to you, Ya Allah, we ask for security and prosperity upon us, our leaders and our country. Bestow patience in us in order to face the challenges from you. Please accept our deeds and please reward us accordingly. Rabbana atina fid dunya hasanah wa fil akhirati hasanah wa qina azabannar. Amin ya rabbal alamin.
Amin Ya Rabbal Alameen. Without further ado, please welcome Chairman of Board of Governors of SUC, Mr. Mok Jack Hao, to deliver his speech.
Yang berbahagia, the respected Senior Assistant Commissioner Sheikh Hamadi bin Sheikh Abdul Hamid, the Deputy Directors of Malaysia MACC Johor, and Senior Assistant Commissioner Muhammad Noor Lokman bin Samikan, the Head of Education and Community Education Malaysia of MACC. So we have Assistant Commissioner Zul Asmi bin Ayaya, the Deputy Directors of MACC Melaka, Mr. Devon G. Nagapan, the Executive Directors, Malaysian Associations of Private College and Universities, Professor Dr. Teh Yokbi, the President, Southern University College, Puan Haja Izura, the Board of Governors, the Southern University College, and distinguished speakers, panelists and moderators, and also the Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission delegations, member of the media, and ladies, dear students, ladies and gentlemen. Selamat pagi, selamat sejahtera dan salam madani. Selamat datang ke College Universiti Selatan. Dan selamat datang ke Forum Hari Antirasuah Antarabangsa 2023. So, welcome to Southern University College and welcomes to the Forum of International Anti-Corruption Day 2023. I understand that there are close to 200 participants who attended this forum today. So thank you very much, and thank you everyone for being a part of this meaningful program, a meaningful forum. Okay, today we are here to participate and to commemorate the International Anti-Corruption Day. To me, it signifies an occasion whereby collective reflections, considerations, actions, and collaborations are needed to fight and overcome one of the greatest social ills, that is corruption. I also understand that the objective of International Anti-Corruption Day is to create and raise public awareness of the malpractices of corruptions and its negative impact on progress and development. Therefore, it is the rights and responsibilities of every individual to fight and overcome corruptions. In particular, we also need to create deeper and greater awareness, particularly among students and among the younger generations on issues pertaining to corruptions and the negative impact on society and economy in general. Corruption in its many forms, there's many forms of corruptions, undermines the foundations of democracy. It erodes the public trust and confidence, and it hinders economic development and perpetuates inequality. So it affects all aspects of society, from public institutions to private businesses. So the fight against corruption must be an integral part of our recovery efforts. In my opinion, it must emphasize and prioritize several factors. First and foremost, we must foster a culture of transparency and a culture of accountability in all sectors. All things must be transparent. All things must be transparent and must have the highest degree of accountability. Secondly, we must have a strong and healthy legal framework. A strong and healthy legal framework and institutions that empower free and strong enforcement. Perpetrators of corruption must be held accountable regardless of their positions and regardless of their influence. And lastly, the international cooperations. The cooperation among the countries is of great importance to fight corruptions. Through multilateral platforms, we can amplify our impact and tackle corruption on a global scale. So let's remember that each time we denounce corruption, we support integrity, and we uphold accountability, we contribute to a world where opportunities are fair, resources are equitably distributed, whereby every individual has the chance to thrive and has the chance to excel. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mok. We will now invite the Deputy Director of Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission, Johor, Senior Assistant Commissioner Sheikh Hamadi bin Sheikh Abdul Hamid, to give a speech.
Assalamualaikum and good morning. The respected Mr. Mok Ching Hao, Chairman Board of Governance, Southern University College, the respected Senior Assistant Commissioner Muhammad Nur Lokman bin Samigan, Head of Education, Community Education Malaysia Anti-Corruption Commission MACC, Assistant Commissioner Zul Azmi bin Yahya, Deputy Director Malaysia Anti-Corruption Commission MACC Melaka, Mr. Dewan G. Nagapan, Executive Director Malaysia Association of Private College and Universities MAPCU, Professor Dr. Teh Giok B, President Southern University College, Puan Hajah Inzura binti Haji Kosni, Governor Southern University College, forum panelists and moderator. The Malaysia Anti-Corruption Commission delegation, media representative, ladies and gentlemen. It is my pleasure to be with you to celebrate International Anti-Corruption Day 2023. Your presence shows that you attach as much importance as I do to the fight against corruption and to the role of good governance in ensuring inclusive development. I want to express my utmost gratitude and appreciation to all committee members in ensuring the success of this event. My highest appreciation goes to our main organizer, MAPCU, and Management Southern University College, Johor Bahru. Your cooperation and commitment are greatly valued, and it is my hope that this cooperation will mark the beginning of the long-lasting relationship between both parties. As you know, on October 31st, 2003, the United Nations General Assembly accepted the establishment of the United Nations Convention Against Corruption and to decision of December 9 as a celebration of the International Anti-Corruption Day. International Anti-Corruption Day is celebrated to create the awareness of all levels of society about the danger of corruption and to mobilize the cooperation of various parties to deal with the problem. Various anti-corruption activities are organized around the world on the day to remind the public about the importance to preventing corruption. For the year 2023, Malaysia will also participate in celebrating International Anti-Corruption Day to show the country's commitment in fighting corruption. As the Anti-Corruption Enforcement Agency in Malaysia, MACC, the MCC will lead this celebration together with the Malaysia Association of Private College and Universities, MAPCU. The International Anti-Corruption Day 2023 celebration focusing on international students at university across the country, private university in particular. The objective is that when this young generation is the workplace, they are able to prevent corruption crimes and indirectly enhance Malaysia's reputation of focusing on anti-corruption education and integrity. This year, the celebration of International Anti-Corruption Day 2023 will be held by zone, starting from the Sabah zone, which is Sabah Federal Territory of Labuan on November 4, followed by Sarawak, the Eastern Zone, which are Pahang, Terengganu, and Kelantan. The Northern Zone, Kedah, Perlis, Perak, and Penang, and the Southern Zone, which is Johor and Malacca. which is today finally the Central Zone MACC HQ, Federal Territory of Kuala Lumpur, Selangor, and Negeri Sembilan on December 9. Corruption is a long-standing global crime that has a negative impact of the country. It affects the development of the national paralyzed economy. It also causes social issues such as poverty and injustice. Among the effects of the corruption crimes include the lack of transparency of administration and increase of criminal activities such as drug smuggling and human trafficking cases. The crime of corruption has been proven to affect society. By preventing corruption, the country development towards economy and political stability. The safety and well-being of society can be achieved. In order to curb, eradicate, and prevent corruption, all communities need to join hands and play their respective roles. People from various backgrounds, ages are capable and can help the government in fighting corruption. The young people, especially the youth, are seen as more susceptible to the culture of corruption due to various factors such as increase in the cost of living. Therefore, early awareness should be fostered to ensure this negative culture can be eliminated. We are very emphasized in educate anti-corruption and integrity value of students. We hope through the effort we can create a first-class young generation that is free of corruption in all aspects towards the nation without corruption. Effort to prevent the fight corruption also need to be extended to other platforms or media, where the public can play their role in challenging any information about the corruption. In challenging any information about corruption crime, in addition, the government have a responsibility to provide an effective whistleblower protection policy to protect whistleblower, and through this step, it will also contribute forward towards effective, responsible, transparent, integrity, and fair institution. Ladies and gentlemen, let me end by reminding you that the solution to our corruption problem must come from all of us, individually and collectively. We must all take a stand and condemn corruption regardless of who is involved. We must reject it and we must report it to relevant authorities. Only we achieve a corruption-free Malaysia. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Sheikh Hamadi. We will now invite Deputy Director of Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission Malacca, Assistant Commissioner Zul Azmi bin Yahya, to deliver his speech.
The respected Mr. Mok Chek Hao, Chairman, Board of Governors, Southern University College, the respected Senior Assistant Commissioner Sheikh Hamadi bin Sheikh Abdul Hamid, Deputy Director MCC Johor, Senior Assistant Commissioner Muhammad Nur Lokman bin Samingan, Head of Education and Community MSCC, Mr. Devon G. Nagapan, Executive Director, Malaysian Association of Private Colleges and Universities, MEPCU, Professor Dr. Teh, President, Southern University College, Puan Hajah Inzura bin Haji Kosnin, Governor, Southern University College, forum panelists and moderator, the Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission delegation, media representative, ladies and gentlemen. Today, I will deliver a talk regarding leading Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission as the leading agency in the effort of curbing corruption in Malaysia. Before I start, let me watch a clip about Malaysian anti-corruption. This is the selection process of being ICC officer. The training will take about 1 year, and everybody needs to pass the exam before they can be called an ICC officer. operation, MACC also does consultation regarding corruption prevention. We also do education program like what we're having now. Is part of the prevention program. Okay, that is the introduction of MACC. Any student interested to join MACC later? Okay, currently we are operating in all states in Malaysia, in 16 states, and we have 21 branches all over Malaysia. In Johor alone, apart from the main office in Johor Bahru, we have branches in Segamat, Batu Pahat, Kluang, and coming up one in Mersing, operating maybe in 1st January. Okay, like what we have seen from the video. Previously, MACC was called Badan Pencegah Rasuah or Anti-Corruption Agency. Okay, this is the main difference between SPRM or MACC with the previous organization, which was the Badan Pencegah Rasuah or ACA. Previously, when it was called Badan Pencegah Rasuah, there are no check and balance mechanism. Currently, there is 5 committees that have the authority to do the check and balance. Okay, and these 5 committees, they are comprises of professionals, ex-government officials, lawyers, ex-judges. So they sit on this committee. So they will look after in all aspects of Malaysia MACC operation, no matter whether it's operation or the prevention. Even this committee has the authority to check on the investigation paper that has been completed by MACC. If they not agree with what we have done, what we have investigated, they have the power to ask for the investigation to be doing it again. So there are also the opposition member of parliament sit in one of these committee. So I will not go one by one. So this complaint committee, they can check on the discipline of MACC officer. Should there are complaint like the officer the officer themselves receive corrupt money, or the officer has done some wrongdoing while doing the investigation, like like pukul the accused. So the public can complain to this complaint committee, and action can be taken against the officer. Okay, this is the committee that I mentioned that has the power to check on the investigation paper conducted by MACC. So basically, these are the 4 functions that stipulated in MACC Act 2009. The first one is to receive complaint regarding corruption case and abuse of position. Once we receive the complaint, then the investigation will be conducted. Okay, apart from doing investigation, like I have mentioned just now, MACC also provide consultancy and advisory service to improvise system and procedures. Usually when we do the investigation, sometimes we come across in one organization that there are loopholes that can lead to opportunities and avenue to corruption. Then MACC will come in to give advisory and consultancy to help to minimize the possibility of corruption happening in that organization. And the 4th function is to educate and fostering community support in curbing corruption. Like the program we are having now, this is a program to educate the community to to support in curbing corruption. Okay, this is one concept that we need to understand. Okay, the separation of power. MACC only does the investigation. Once we receive the complaint, we will only do the investigation or do the intelligence. Once the investigation paper is completed, whether there is a case or not case, it will be sent to Attorney General Chambers, and the public prosecutor or deputy public prosecutor is the only party that can decide whether there is case or not. If there is a case, then the case will be brought into the court. But if there is no case, only the public prosecutor has the authority to close or to take no further action against the investigation. Okay. When the case was brought into the court, only the judge that can decide whether the accused is guilty or not. So it's not MACC or not the deputy public prosecutor can say someone has done wrongdoing or not. Okay, what is corruption? Corruption is receiving or giving gratification or bribe to do something related to his official duties. So the key word here is gratification and official duties. We will see later. Okay, usually when someone asks for corrupt money, they will not say, please bribe me, or I want duit rasuah. So these are the terms that they will use. I think the most famous one is kautim. Or maybe petrol money or duit minyak. Forms of corruption. These are all the forms of corruption. The most famous one that we all encounter is money, gift, bonus, service. Service usually, like what happened in Johor Bahru, I think 2-3 weeks ago, service here refer to sex service. There are also forms in form of discount, position, or wages. Okay, the four main offences under MACC Act. The first one is soliciting or accepting bribes. The second one is offering or giving bribes. Third one is false claim. The fourth one is abuse of public position for gratification. Okay, the first one, soliciting or accepting bribe. Any person who solicit or accept gratification as an inducement to do or not to do a certain act. Okay, we look at the first example. Okay, this happened in Perak in 2014. The court sentenced a mathematics lecturer to 1 day imprisonment and 25,000 fine after he was found guilty on 5 counts of corruption. What happened here? This lecturer asked bribery from 2 of his students for mathematics and statistics subject to, if I'm not mistaken, about 300 ringgit. If they want to have their mark increased, they had paid 300 ringgit. Okay, and this lecturer was arrested by MACC. This almost the same case, but this happened here in Johor Bahru when I worked here, if I'm not mistaken, about 2 years ago. Almost the same case, a lecturer approached students to get and promising the student that he and she will pass the exam, but they need to give some money. Okay, and how we get to know about what happened in that college? When the student goes to do their practical training, the employer found out that the students doesn't have the skills that he needed, even though in the transcripts shows that they already passed the exam. But when the employer asks the student to do, they don't know how to do it. As such, the employer asks the student, so the student reveal actually they already pay their lecturers to pass. That is how we get to know. Okay, this is another case in Petronas. An officer asked the main contractor to sub his job to his own business. So the main contractor has to give any subcontractor job to the company that is owned by this accused, this Mr. Amar Azalan. So the total amount of corruption in this case was more than 100 million. So this guy also has been arrested. And he used that bribery to buy a lot of luxury car. If I'm not mistaken, when we did the investigation, they have this, that's why we call this Ops Phantom, because he bought these Rolls-Royce Phantoms, Alphard, Belfire, I think about more than 40 Alphard and Belfire, because he do this luxury car rental by using the proceeds from corruption. Okay, just now I said receiving corrupt is an offense. Offering or giving bribes is also an offense under MCC Act. Okay. Okay, this happened this year, early this year in Kanga. The police has managed to confiscated drug amounting about 65 million ringgit. And the next day, there's two tonto came to meet the police officer and offer 200,000 ringgit cash, subject to they release the drugs. Okay, but they met the wrong people. The police arrested the guys and he was hand over to MACC police. I think this is the biggest case for this 17B case. So my advice to students, there is no shortcut to success. You need to work hard and to work smart to earn your diploma or degree. So if you pay corruption, it will not solve your problem. Okay, the third offense is false claim. Okay, just give two examples. Let's say if the college ordered 10 unit of computer brand Apple, but the contractor only sent 5 units of Apple computer, but they claim in full. They claim it as if they have sent 10 units of computer. So that is an offense. And the other example, instead of sending 10 unit of Apple computer, they send 10 unit of lower grade computer. So this is also an offense under section 18 of MACC Act. Okay, the fourth offense is abuse of power. A public officer using his position in making a decision or taking any action on a matters in which his relative or associate hold interest. Okay, this section only applicable to public body. So if it is owned by 100% owned privately, so this section does not applicable. Okay, I just take one example. A university in Perak, the vice chancellor, he asked the registrar to include his son's name as the candidate for the J41 engineer position. Even though he doesn't make the decision, but his act of asking the registrar to put his son's name is an offense. Okay, if somebody ask you corruption from you, it is an offense if you don't report it to MACC under Section 25. So you should come to MACC, not just keep quiet when someone asks bribery from you. Okay, these are the things that the best thing that you should have when you want to report to MACC. Don't worry if you don't have all 5, at least you have 3, 4 items here. It can help us to do our investigation. Okay? The easiest way to report corruption is by going to MACC office, send an email, or to contact any MACC officer. Don't worry, your report is confidential, especially if you are registered as the whistleblower. Okay, we will not reveal any information about yourself. Okay, finally, I want to talk just a little bit about integrity. Integrity is doing the right thing even no one is watching. This is the most famous quotes about integrity. I just want to highlight about this one individual, Oliver Cookson. He's a multi-billionaire, live in UK. When the Israel invaded Gaza, he's not happy what happening there. So he made a decision that he will divest his investment from Israeli and from companies that involve with armed companies. Okay. For the record, we will all lose hedge and take a hit financially. Again, something's more important to us, namely integrity. Even though his company will lose hundreds of millions, but when he think that it is not right to do it's not right what is happening there, so he decide not to associate his company and his family's company in the business. Okay, another example, this Anwar Al-Ghazi is a Dutch footballer who had played for a club in Germany called Mainz, and his salary was about 25,000 pounds per week, about $500,000 per month. So when there's war between Israel and Palestine, he writes something that he's not happy what happening in his social media, and he was sacked from the club. So he's now without any club, but what he said here, stand for what is right, even if it means standing alone. Okay? From this two current example, I would say some people valued integrity more than money. So students, someday you'll be out there in the real world, you'll be working someday. I believe maybe sometime your integrity will be challenged. So remember my advice, money cannot buy our pride. Don't let money decide or influence your decision. Stand for what is right. Say no to corruption. That's all for my talk. Can I maybe one or two questions? Any question? Or you want to ask from the forum panelists?
What's the statistic of cases that you investigate and how many successful in terms of percentage that goes to the end where there's a judgment being carried out?
Usually when MACC okay, our investigation process, it have to go through many steps. Okay, the IO, when the investigation paper is complete, he need to go through his SIO, senior, his deputy director, his director. So it means he has gone through a very thorough process. When we decide, when we send it to the public prosecutor, usually if the public prosecutor decides that there is case, 70 or 80% we will win. That was the statistic, but I don't have the correct number, but usually about 70% we will win in the court. Okay. No more question? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Zul Azmi. Moving on, we will have our forum, which is towards a corrupt-free generation. We shall now proceed with our forum today that will be moderated by Assistant Professor Dr. Bambang Suhartono bin Muhammad Said, lecturer from Department of Languages and Studies, Southern University College. Together with Dr. Bambang Suhartono, may we invite the panel members to be on stage to begin our discussion. Member of Transparency International Malaysia, Mr. Balbir Singh Jesse. Representing MACC Johor, Head Inspection and Consultation Unit, Assistant Commissioner Ko Lik Chi. Last but not least, representing the students of SUC, President of the Student Union, Mr. Andy Wong Wee Har. Dr. Bambang, I'm handing the stage to you.
Yes. Thank you, MC. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, salam sejahtera and good morning. Welcome to the Forum Towards a Corrupt-Free Generation. Please give a big clap. Ladies and gentlemen, students are sometimes susceptible to corruption once they enter the workforce. According to a 2002 study by the National University of Malaysia, 30.5% of the students who responded admitted they would accept bribes if given the chance. This alarming reality became evident when 52.5% of those arrested between 2016 to 2020 by the Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission MACC for corruption were young individuals. In light of the International Anti-Corruption Day 2023, MACC has chosen students at private higher learning institutions as the main target audience. The goal is to raise awareness about the risk of getting involved in corrupt practices after graduation, the challenges in overcoming corruption, and most importantly, to inspire students to become anti-corruption champions for a future generation free from corruption. Ladies and gentlemen, we are honored to have three inspiring panelists joining us for today's discussion. Our first panel is Mr. Balbir Singh Jesse, and our second panel is Mr. Ko Lik Chi, and the third is Mr. Andy Wong. How are you, panelists? Okay. So I think we start our discussion with our panel with the first question addressed to our first panel, Mr. Balbir Singh. Okay, the question is, what are the most pressing and pervasive challenges that graduates face when they join the workforce, and how and how do these challenges potentially lead them to engage in corrupt practices? Your answer, please.
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. Good morning, Mr. Mok, SCC Tuan Sheikh, SCC Mohammed No, Assistant Commissioner, Tuan Zul Razmi, Mr. Dewan, honored members, board members, members of the panel, ladies and gentlemen in the hall here, all youngsters, all youth here. Having heard earlier the presentation by the MACC, I will start off the first part of the question. Most pressing and pervasive challenges that graduates face when they join the workforce. Before we can even go there, one of the most critical aspects of the youth today is you must have integrity. You must have integrity. You must have moral and ethical values that are sound before you can even join the workforce. Times have changed so much, and what do I mean by that? I will just get a quote first. Tuan Zul has mentioned about integrity, but this quote from, it says, integrity, justice, courage, temperance. Temperance means moderation, and prudence. These are the virtues that constitute the moral character of good professional, indeed a good man. Now, this was said by His Royal Highness Sultan Azlan Shah, the late our Agong, and also the late Lord President of the Federal Court. His quotes, as he has been one of the most respected Lord Justice, his quotes and his writings are fantastic. You must go up and read. His quote will stand forever. So what does it mean? He actually wrote this in the New Millennium, Challenges and Responsibilities. Graduates today, you need to have high ethical and moral values for a start, and that comes with integrity. And what do you mean by integrity? Integrity basically means being honest and having strong moral, principles that you cannot change forever. Keyword, moral principles that you cannot change forever. As a youth, what do our parents teach us? Number one, don't lie. Number two, don't cheat. Respect your elders and don't steal. The last one is important, don't steal. It starts from there. You are walking on the roadside and someone drops $100 note. You're walking behind. Do you carry it and put it in the pocket? Or do you go run to him and say, nah, this is your $100 note? Which is which? Some will say, I'll take it because I didn't steal. I found it on the roadside. Some will say, no, it's his. I'll run to him and give him back. That is integrity. Your moral principles, your moral values. It starts from there, because when you go further up, then the steal later becomes, I steal the Rayat's money, money for projects I steal, and that becomes corruption. So these moral values and your integrity values must be there forever as a youth. Some of the challenges that you face today, salaries, I just touched on salaries, doesn't mean that with low salary you must end up in corruption. Today's salaries, when I started work, I was paid 1,005. And in 1984, in Straits Times, And when I was confirmed, I got 1,008. But I could buy a second-hand car and pay the loan. I could rent a room in Bangsa. But today you tell me 1,008, can you buy that? That time there was no internet, no X, no Twitter, whatever, God knows, all these were not there. And the only phone you had was the Nokia, standard Nokia, which is, and you had Hutchinson pager. So when anyone wants to contact you, you had Hutchinson pager. But today, there are a lot of other temptations that will come in. The salaries are not enough and things like that. And some other challenges that you face are peer pressure. Hello, my friend next door has got an iPhone 5 before he can even start work. So when I start work, I would have iPhone 5. But I have my first one was a Vivo. It lasted me 6 years. Some of those who bought an iPhone, it only lasted 3 years. So my Vivo is better. I use a Samsung still. So, but some of the younger people today, all are holding iPhone 5s. How many of you got iPhone 5? 5,700? Anyone else? Not yet, And then you get a lot of this peer pressure coming in. Your friend drives a BMW to work while you drive a Myvi. But Myvi has got an engine, so has a BMW. Myvi has got 4 tires, so has a BMW. Both take you to the same place, house to work. So why do you need a BMW? But peer pressure comes in, so I need BMW, then come third parties later, they'll try to, we see that later. So temptations come in, temptations. Looking at all this, sometimes you want to have a mentor, someone look up, somebody that's honest, who's straight, you want to be a mentor, you know, you're someone you look up to. And it is very important that you find the right person to look up to in this case. Don't look up to politicians who are corrupt. Yeah, sorry. I always use politicians because most of the cases MSCC takes to court are either the heads of GLCs or, you know, corrupted politicians. So if you want to have a mentor, look for a good mentor to work on. Yeah? And currently, I would say our Prime Minister is solidly behind the no corruption motto. He has been like that all the while. No corruption, and he has been steadfast and solid in that motto. Yeah, no corruption all the way. I think he's serious about it, and that's why I can see a lot of recently a lot of people have gone helter-skelter, right, hiding, you know, because they have been all thinking of their past, what they've done. So I think it's a matter of time things will, you know, end up in the courts. So these are things that you actually face as a student before you join the workforce. So having said that, how do these challenges potentially lead you to engage in corruption? So like I said earlier, all these things that you need in life, you want good things, you want this, you want that, you want all the hi-fi things, but are they necessary? So then comes, if you're in charge of a department, let's say you're working, and there comes this temptation, one guy comes to tell you and said, hey, look here, there's this tender out. Can you actually give me a lead on what is the lowest value of this tender? Give me some information on this tender. And you give him. And that guy gives you, let's say, a stack of notes, or, you know, he buys you some gift. And, you know, you want to have the same thing that your friend next door has, or the neighbor has. So you end up, for a start, you end up with this. And you leak the information. It's already an offense. We'll look later at what happens, the result of corruption. But it starts from there. Huh? Small thing goes to bigger thing, and that's it. You know, from money it goes to a phone goes to a car, and overseas trips, you know, and then other incidents like Tonzul mentioned, sexual activities, and it just goes on, you know, and then one day you get caught, and then that's it. So basically, these are the challenges you're facing, and I like to also quote a scary scenario which was quoted by MSCC in the 18 June 2023. MSCC Deputy Commissioner Prevention, Dato Sri Nur Razlan Muhammad Razali said, agency data showed 85 individuals between the age of 17 to 24 were arrested up to 2022. 37 were charged and 30 found guilty of the offences. These are youth. Huh? He said MSCC received information and complaints of youth associations being involved in corrupt practices, which could be anything, in colleges, in universities, in, you know, all those social youth organizations. Majority of the reported offences were, number one, abuse of power, which Tonzul has mentioned, followed by false claims, Tonzul has mentioned just now, certification offences, and soliciting and accepting bribes. Key offences in the youth, yeah, currently. Very scary. So this is why I was mentioning earlier, your integrity, moral principles must be very sound and solid as a youth, because when you go to work, your next step is you're going to practice what you have learned as a student, before that as a child, which your parents taught you. And these are solid foundations that you cannot change. The moment you change, you deviate, you are going to be in trouble. So having said that, these are my notes on the first question, Don Moderator. Thanks so much for listening.
Okay, thank you so much, our first panel. Again, please give a big clap. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I got 2 points here from the first panel. The first is integrity, is it? And the second is the moral, in the moral value. Is it? I just want to add one more question, just still relate with this question. Currently, the youth, after they graduate and start work in any career, is it the salary is the most issue they're going to try, to accept any bribes?
That is, I think, one of the lamest excuse we can find. Salary is not the issue at all, because if you look at it, if you look at the private sector, the salaries are good, very good compared to the civil service. Let's face it, their civil service currently needs to be revamped. That's another issue altogether. Today's cost of living is tough. Like I said, today with 1,008, I can rent a room in Bangsa. Today in Johor, can you rent a room? 1,008, the salary you earn, you need to buy a car, you need to eat. You know, the cost of living has gone so high. So that, I think, is not an excuse. End of the day, you can always work extra. You know, like when we used to work those days at the start off, we used to work never from 9 to 5. It was always 9 to 8 o'clock, 8 p.m., 9 p.m. with overtime, things like that. So this cannot be an excuse, I would say, because there are opportunities, so many opportunities in Malaysia that you can, thrive on. Even as a solo business, if you go on your own as a businessman, I mean, the youngsters here today all mostly go on their own, online and things like that. Not like those days when we started work, yeah? So the opportunities are there, numerous. Salaries are just one of those excuses. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Okay, for our second panel, Mr. Koo, the question is, what strategies does MACC have in place to involve and engage students in the fight against corruption?
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Bang Bang, our moderator. And good mornings to our distinguished guests, Mr. Mo, Mr. Devin, Pro, Te, Madams, Aja, and of course, not forgetting my bosses here, the directors from the MSCC, Malacca, Johor, and the HQ as well. Also to the fellow MSCC officer, Southern University College staff, but the most importantly is our fellow dearest participant of the day, our students and the target groups of the International Anti-Corruption Days of the years. This year, the target is to the students. In particular, if possible, we will try to include more the international students here. But if not that much, is still alright. We still want the students with campus to spread all this anti-corruption message to the general public. Okay, back to my question forwarded by the moderators. The strategy of MSCC to engage with the students in fighting of corruptions. Okay, perhaps I try to give some explanation and explain. It's not only to the student, right? But I try to enlarge the scope maybe to the young generation or perhaps so-called the youth. Okay. Actually, it's nothing new. As mentioned by Ju through the talk just now, MACC, Malaysia Anti-Corruption Commission, we practice three-pronged strategy, whereby we do the investigation direct against the perpetrator who commit on the corrupt practice. Secondly, we have the prevention arm, where myself personally, I come from the prevention arm. This means we have the branches of we have the branch called inspection and consultation, whereby this branch can scrutinize, go through, review the process, the work process, or perhaps we call it standard operating procedures, the policy itself, and the system adopted in the in particular the public agencies. From there, we try to identify the loopholes and propose some improvement, some recommendation to improve, plug the loopholes or the weaknesses where the occurrence of the corrupt practices. There is a prevention, and the most important for myself, my own personal belief, I firmly believe that education is the key. Education always the key to tackle this menace of corruptions. There's a saying of a Malay, prevention is better than cure. I think Chinese also there is a similar saying. I'm not sure about Indian or Tamil, but I believe there is. And also there's a Malay saying, no, melentuh bulu biarlah dari lembungnya. Do you guys get me? Melentuh bulu biarlah dari lembungnya. So you want to, for the character building, to share a good moral, a noble character of our citizens, it must be start with the younger age, through the education, But this is not solely the responsibility of the educator or teacher in the school or the campus. It is even back to our home, from the family, start with our parents. Okay? So for MNCC realized that. That's why I realized MNCC did through the community education division, we did engage very closely, actively with the MOE, Ministry of Education. Throughout the years, okay, we have various type of collaborations. The more difficult, I think, last 10 years, early 2010 and some things, we managed and we successful to convince MOE to include in the school syllabus, or so-called, in the school textbook, the syllabus, national syllabus in certain subject throughout the country. For the subject of moral, even for the subject of Bahasa Melayu, BM, Bahasa Melayu in the grade 3, in the elementary school. Me, myself, last 2 years, my own daughter has gone through the thing. I gone through the textbook. Yeah, there's a chapter. There's a chapter specific mention about MSCC. Give a brief explanation about the offenses of MSCC Act 2009, the rule and the task the MSCC doing. This is what the MSCC managed to bring in together with the MOE to establish these textbook modules. Besides that, this is mainly for secondary school, for the primary school. For the secondary school, the same happened. They apply in their textbook in the subject of moral. There also are some similar content being included. Okay, throughout. Thank you. Testing. It's all right. Okay. So that one is very formal, to the theory to the textbook. Besides that, the department MSCC did work with the, come up with some other form of effort to instill the values, to instill this fighting corruption practice to the student and the youngster. You see, in the primary school, we also did introduce a program called Wira Antirasuah. Wira Antirasuah, or we call it anti-corruption world for the youngster, the school students. What we did in this Wira Antirasuah, as you know, for the student, they can't really just look at the textbook. They can't focus too long. So in this Wira Antirasuah activity conducted in mainly the primary school, we conduct some activities, or funny activities such as we can have the color drawing, colorings competition. We have some simple quiz for them, or we even bring out a mascot, a cartoon, the mascot to attract the interest of the student. Okay. Sometimes also they can do the role play to the small, simple sketches or simple drama. Because this thing I think is more effective. Okay. That is for the primary school. For the secondary school, beside the text, also this there's another idea, like I think Tuan Ju did mention also. There's a school, they set up an integrity kiosk. This is very meaningful, The integrity kiosk is a small simple kiosk providing some simple snacks, stationery, for the purchase of the student without this simple kiosk or store, without being manned by any retail assistant. Nobody there. They just put on a tabung and then they will price it, all the items be priced. So you just take it and you leave, you do your payment sincerely, honestly. Okay. In the context of higher education, in the university and higher education, tertiary level, in the university of the colleges, as we mentioned, there's a subject of khusus integrity dan anti-rasuah, subject of KIA been introduced. This subject has been made compulsory since this year. The subject is not something new. I think it's already been brought in year 2012 or 13, starting from the UKM, then in UPM, also followed by a few public universities. Upon evaluated the effectiveness of this program, the Ministry of Higher Learning Education decided to expand it throughout the country. So now, regardless the public university or the university, you will have to go through this subject. I hope this subject will be successfully rolled out here in the SUC. So I think it's all right for the first round of question. So I will leave it back to the moderator. Yes. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Koo. I love the last part, Mr. Koo, when you mentioned about KIA, is it? Because for your information, for coming semester, SUC will start offering this subject. I just want to know from your side, MSCC side, what kind of activity we can start with, engage with our SUC for next semester? What kind of activity?
Yes, thank you, Doctor. As we mentioned, and we had a brief discussion yesterday during the rehearsal, right? I did suggest to Doctor, don't do it, this subject, just merely from the theory or the theory learning throughout the lecture room, you know. You bring. Try to make it more interesting. Perhaps you can subject, like I said, some role play, you know, throughout some case study. Okay. Besides that, also pay a visit, try to make arrangement with our officer, because the MACC Johor office is so near to your guys here in Southern University College. May I know how many of you know the office of MACC Johor Bahru? Pejabat SPRM Johor. Tahu tak? Kat mana? Office located. Just a front row away. You guys know the hospital Permai, Emma Income Pass, Taman Johor lah, somewhere the area. We are there. You can 2-block white color building. So I did suggest the instructor, the lecturer, try to arrange a field trip to our office to see how's the working process of MSCC officer, how's the investigation being carried out, and then what is a facility, perhaps some facility in our office. There's a lockout, there's a video interviewing room. So let the student get the real feel of the job. Indirectly, I hope also it can promote the interest of the people to join us in combating the corruption together.
Thank you so much, Mr. Koo. We really appreciate it. So hopefully for next semester, our student can get also green light from SUC to go to your office, is it? And having some activity. Thank you so much. Okay, for panel number 3, Mr. Andy Wong. The question is, how can students actively support MACC's anti-corruption initiatives and also be accountable for their actions? Okay, your answer, please.
Respected Chairman Board of Governors, Mr. Mok, VIPs from MACC, respected our principal, Professor Dr. Teh, and moderator, panelists, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. My name is Andy. I'm the president of Student Union. Thank you for inviting me to this forum. So, for the question, okay. being informed is important. Before we going into the anti-corruption, we need to know what is corruption. So we need to watch more the news, read more about the news to then around. So once we know about all this kind of news, then we know to ourselves that what we need to do, then we can make the right decision. So next, promoting awareness by conducting events, integrity camp, for promote awareness, telling students what is corruption and how we can do to anti-corruption. So we can create a culture that we are saying no to corruption practice. So going to the third one is about advocating for transparency. So the mean for this is to push for openness or for the decision making. So for example, like the leader in your club or society or we must certainly know what they are doing that for the or for everyone. Okay, so in conclusion, so by staying informed, promoting awareness and advocating for transparency are the ways we can fight for anti-corruption. And I think there are still more ways to do it. But that's all for me today.
Thank you, Mr. Andy. I think it's a part of your hope from the student side, as you see. Thank you. Okay, is it we're going to have our second round or we go to Q&A? Q&A, second round. Second round. Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are continuing with our second round discussion, Q&A between our panel. So the first, for the first panel, for the second question. First panel for the second question. Okay, Mr. Barbilia, how can students and your NGOs effectively participate in the fight against corruption and maintain a consistent commitment in this cause? Please.
Okay, before I start, how many of you are below 20 here? Everybody is below 20 years old. Anyone? All are between in your teens. Anyone 21, 22, above 20? Can you put our hands? Okay, you are still a youth. Don't be scared. Yeah, you're below 20, you are still a youth. Yeah. Why I'm asking this question? Yeah, because there was a saying by this Prime Minister of UK. There was no UK then. Prime Minister of England in 1868. In 1 year, and then followed by and then was Prime Minister from 1870 to 1880. This Prime Minister of England, Benjamin Disraeli, what he said? He said, the youth of a nation are the trustees of posterity. The youth of a nation are the trustees of posterity. Posterity means future generations. Yeah. This was said in 1878. It is valid today. Why I ask you when you are 20 years old? Because I give you 50. Today is 2023. 50 years, 2073, you'll be how many years old? 70 years old. That time you'll be grandparents, you'll be parents and all that. This will still be valid. This will still be valid, this code. Because it is so apt. The youths are the future of the nation. You know, it's as simple as that. So if you are not committed with integrity, honesty, and good moral and ethical behaviors, where are we going to go? This nation. We are doomed, isn't it? So these values need to be carried all the way to your second generation, third generation. In 2073, Of course, if I'm still around, I won't, probably if God gives me as the oldest man in the world, then probably I'll be here still, in 2073. But you will have to still carry this motto, the youth are the future of the nation. So how can you fight corruption? There are several ways as a youth, in the university and outside. For example, engaging youth is very important. What do you promote corruption values? Youth integrity camps. These are actually worldwide. Integrity. Okay, some places have already integrity clubs. I don't know whether your university has it, but one of the points, if you get a club, you can have. So why not integrity? When you start of integrity, honesty, and, as a direction to have anti-corruption programs. Collaboration with schools is that's happening now with by MSCC and also other social organizations and NGOs. Okay, competitions and trainings. This is another area. You can have sports programs, you can have art programs, painting competition, drawing competitions, where you actually are promoting integrity values. And I saw a couple of posters outside there. Actually, it's anti-corruption posters. Those are one of the good ways to start off, by having competitions. Other things that okay, this is hackathon. Do you all know? I just learned this last night. So, but they're actually organizing hackathons where computers, youth are actually organizing new technologies to actually encourage learning of anti-corruption through hackathons. And I just they actually started transparency cafes in some of the universities and schools, where transparency cafes actually means where you get together and discuss topics of anti-corruption and values, so over coffee, over tea, things like that, to actually get people to come and talk to you. And transparency, Malaysia has started what we call a youth integrity program, TIM, youth integrity program, where the values that are taught are, we go to schools and universities to teach things like workshops, annual debates, seminars, collaborating with the TIM and with corporate organizations, and to actually inculcate values of anti-corruption. The main objective is use corruption laws, regulations, values, ethical values, and understand the importance of governance, which is very important. Governance is very important, so that you ensure there's proper governance. There's no lack of governance where you can end up in trouble. And transparency is available all the while. If you want to engage them, you go to all this, guide you on all these aspects. So take this opportunity as a university student in university, and otherwise as a youth association, want them to come and you, they'll come. So these are the things that can be done actually to continue the fight against anti-corruption via NGOs, also the NGOs like TIM.
Okay, thank you. We continue with our second panel, Mr. Ko. The question is, how MCC contribute to by preparing for debate and they still contribute to this fight in the workplace and within the community? Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Again, the question relates to the students before the graduate entering into the real world. Why this is important? As mentioned also, Tuan Jun, back to 2002, and there's a survey conducted by UKM on the willingness of the youth or the younger generation to take bribe if there is an opportunity. When they are the given power position. In other words, we are holding the position someday. Are you ready? Are you to take bribe if you offer? So, how many percent is 30 something, 30.0%, you know, it's almost approximately 1/3 of our youth back then, 2000s. They are ready to do that. So, down to the activity 50 years past. Now, the workforce, there may be the finance, whatever, holding the high post manager in organization of the company, and then people the arrest of MSCC, the back 19 to or to 2022. Near again, half of the arrested person, the suspect, is at 4 years old. That big, that generation, when they are not informed, they are not the use hold the that's going, and it is proven through the number of arrests by MSCC. Is telling will form today the check of corruption, create a I hope were never out like 20 years ago. Okay, I believe I will be able to become integrities, live by talk the talks, become a respected leader in your respected organization. My question now the what am I doing to for them to or in the community. So I think just MSCC kuat angkatan mahasiswa anti in English maybe just as student force, right? This also a group of students, just like Andy become a student leaders. This is a group of students who enroll through the club or some sort of a mini association within the campus. They have become the champions or the key changes to influence amongst their peers. So this group of students who join the AMA, Angkatan Mahasiswa Antirasuah, they can come forward to the MSCC office looking for our guardians, maybe even some ideas to the MSCC office officer, what kind of effort or activity can be conducted. Actually, the former AMA, which been established back to the beginning, where there is in the public university, Awam, the public university, they even been given some sort of like the grant, some sort of small allocation lah. It's amounting 1,000 to 2,000 annually for them to conduct this activity in line with fighting corruptions within the campus. So even the student graduated their later days, I think they should continue their involvement in fighting corruption. Perhaps you can join, like Mr. Babe mentioned just now, join some NGO, which is championing and advocates for fighting corruptions. You know, in beside the Transparency International TI, that is very how I mention to describe. It's very robust. It's actually this is a global NGO. No, they have the chapter and branches in throughout the world. But in our local context, not less than that, we have a NGO such as Persatuan Antirasuah Malaysia. In short, they call it PAKAR. Is recently established. So they're also looking for the quality members. Try to join in, contribute the ideas and your effort to them. Besides, also Malaysian Corruption Watch, MCW. There are just a number of NGO I mentioned. Maybe can become the priority of use. Okay, on top of that, MNCG have to move with the generations, right? Previously, we did a lot of campaigns in a very conventional way. In the university, we have the debates. We have the essay writing, some sort like that. Now, as I mentioned just now, the era has changed. Instead of debate or instead of essay writing, now I think few years back we did conduct this public service announcement video. By using this one, the ideas, the insight of the student of the undergraduates in the university come forward to produce this very meaningful and bringing the message of fighting corruption through the public service announcement (PSA). Then to be more effectively spearhead this
Sorry,
message.
Mr. Koo. Sorry, Mr. Koo. You mentioned just now about the PSA, because nowadays it's very always we can say like very popular. It's not only. So I just want to know from your MSCC the duration for very effective PSA duration. How long? For, the minutes. I mean the duration. How long? The best duration.
We are not saying the best duration. You see, I think this is more. Maybe Doctor, you are being the lecturer in this media contents or what? Just like now, I think the PSA usually from the format I look at previously is held by the ICNC Hong Kong a few years back, or even I think a PSA about 2 to 3 minutes will do. It's too lengthy, you know. People are can't afford now. The people is impatient, or just like the TikTok. Those I think the clip more than 30 seconds, people will start getting bored. Okay. Yeah.
Because I feel that it was a creative way for the student to to come up with critical thinking about about
actually this younger generation. They are so talented.
Yeah.
They are they are full. They don't have or some sort of appropriate value for them to contribute. I believe all of you can work together with MSCC, because the fighting corruption, to combat the corruption in this country, is not solely on the shoulder of MSCC. All of you, of us, law-abiding citizen. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Koo. Okay, for our third panel, panel number 3, Mr. Andy. The question is, what is the plan to address issues related to integrity and corrupt acts among students and promote ethical behavior within student leadership and among your peers?
Okay, thank you, Dr. Bambang. So, personally, I like to teach other using games because I'm also the previous chairperson of Board Game Club. There's a game I like to use as example. It's called the Ponzi scheme. It is a fraud, a famous fraud from previously. It's similar to a pyramid. This game is mainly for paying fees to the previous investor using the newly joined investor funds. So using the money to just keep cycling until someone loses the game. Okay, so by playing these kind of games, teaches the players to know about these kind of frauds. So in the future, won't step into the trap like this. So for anti-corruption, also the same. We can create the games that teaches the players what option is and what we can do to prevent or what we can do when we face corruption. So for us to teach about this corruption or this kind of values, it is very helpful to create a game like this. Okay. Next, we also often have leadership training in the SUC. The SUC will constantly organize these kind of trainings. What we students need to do is just participate in those events. Okay, and inside the content of the training, we can always include the values we want to teach the leaders. Okay, and once the leaders has participated the training, they can always go back to their club and society and pass down the knowledge to their members. Okay, and the next one, we can also invite speakers from MSCC to give a speech, a talk, or even we can cooperate with MSCC to have a campaign, a training also, or even events that allow students to participate. Often this kind of event can have a booth that are more interactive, so students can get more hands-on on those kind of events. They can memorize it more. Okay, so that's all for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Andy. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we have gained a lot of knowledge today from our panel expert. So this is the time for Q&A. So anybody want to ask question, please come to the microphone. Where is it, Mr. May, our microphone? Yeah, okay. So please introduce yourself. Anybody want to ask question, please introduce yourself and please mention the name of the panel to whom you want the answer for your question. You. Okay.
Good day, everyone. Sorry about the mic. Good day, everyone. Before I ask my question, I would just like to say thank you. Your have been very helpful. Third panelist, Mr. Andy. In what ways can learning about anti-corruption efforts empower individuals to make a positive difference in life? Okay to that. Thank you.
You mean what are the positive effect if they learn about anti-corruption? Is it okay? So by learning about anti-corruption, I think they can be a better person in life because they need to be constantly giving out 100% of themselves. Because corruption not only is student giving out present to a lecturer, or even someone giving out present to an interviewer, hope better grades or hoping to get a job. So by learning about anti-corruption, you can be more fair in life, that everyone will be at the same starting point of life. Yeah, so they will become a better person. Okay, yeah.
Thank you, Andy. Are you happy with the answer? So I think we still offer two questions more from two questions. Can two questions? Okay, from the question.
可能会用华文啊，然后我主要是想问，这3年的那个 corruption perception index，就是其实都在下降，这样所以反贪会没有就进行这个贪污的动作这样子的一个东西，或者是其实反贪会出现变差，贪污没有进行到一个很好的一个效果，这样子就是想问这个问题。
I need a favor, please. First, please translate the question. Make it short. Can you say it in English? Anybody or help him? To whom your question is?
So I asked about the amount of the corruption perception is low at the national. Have the MACC do something to have the change about the?
I think Mr. Koo, you should answer this.
Perhaps I can take the question, right? Since it is forwarded in Chinese, which and also I take the chance to maybe simply translate actually what our friends are asking. He's asking over the last 3 years, our CPI index, corruption perception index by TI, is deteriorating along the years, along the last 3 years. Actually, I got a figure here. We are stating we are having a score of 51 back in year 2000, and then 48 2001. The latest last year 2022, our score is 47. That is in terms of score, and our ranking, our global ranking also, is declining from rank of 57 to now last year 2022 61. So our fellow friends would like to know more what actually the effort or the initiative of the governments, including MACC, to overcome these declinings, these problems. Okay. Yes, we have to admit the fact, which is our country ranking in the CPI is dropped along the way, right? Actually, it is very significant over last few years, last 4 or 5 years. Actually, the effort of fighting corruption or promoting the integrity in the country is never stopped, Since the early days, since the Merdeka and so on, establishment of SCA and MCC, our country also did achieve a good ranking a few years back to maybe around 2012, 2007 or so. We managed to score a rank below 50. Actually, we are also not that bad in the regions. Malaysia in the region of Southeast Asia, in ASEAN country, we used to and always place on 3rd after Singapore, of course. Singapore is always within the top 10s, and followed by Brunei and Malaysia. Okay. Recognize our weaknesses, only we can make an improvement. So the government also never stopped. Back to the 2018, the government launched a national anti-corruption plan. Okay. Under this NACP, National Corruption Plan, there are plenty, there are more than 100, if not mistaken, 112 or 18, the initiative under NSCP. One initiative under NSCP. 100 something. The initiative 112. Right? It's, you know, throughout the different ministry. And for many effort the government do in increase the country ranking, including we set out the special court on corruption to expedite the court proceeding on the specific corruption offences. We have a special court. Back then, those days, we need to take 4-5 years to have the decision of the court. But by setting up the special court, most of the proceeding, the hearing of these corruption cases can completed within 1 or 2 years. The latter, I think, is 2 years, you can get a result. Okay, special court. And in the procurement side, our Ministry of Finance, they set out a special procurement portal to reduce the human interactions, you know. We go to the system, minimize the manipulation by the corrupted officers. For example, there are numbers, there are so many, I cannot mention one by one. But what I would like to emphasize, the effort from the government side is never stopped. Even though changing of the governments, the CPI dropped. This is my personal views. Maybe, yes, over the last 5 years, last term, the governments, the head of the governments, the administration keep on changing. So maybe there's a inconsistency or the continuity of the certain policy or certain effort. This is make the foreign investor lost confidence or has lacking, you know, lose their confidence in the country. I would like to emphasize the CPI itself is just based on the perception. That's why we call corruption perception index. It's a perceived scenario in the country. It may not be reflected to the actual situation in the country. I got few figures that perhaps I can share to our annual report last year. You see, last year MACC, we did receive 2021, we did receive 3,900 information for various sources. And this 2022 is about 3,005. So you see the information more or less still there, maintained, stagnant. It's not that bad, it's not drop. Again, for the person arrest and charge, 2021, with 851 person been charged under various offense under the MSCC Act, Section 16, Section 17, abuse of power, offering or buy, whatever the few major offenses under the Act. There are 850 been charged. 2021, 2022, there are 900. They've increased. So showing that the effort of the MSCC also, we never relax or feel relief, you know. Also, there's a figure to support just a question for by Prote. Actually, MSCC did have a successful conviction rate of more than 90 in the section court. You see, last year, there are numbers of 294 cases been charged in the section court. So, a total of 326. Out of 326, 294, the public prosecutor win the case. I mean, MSCC and public prosecutor, we win the case. Is equivalent to almost 90.2%. And another 21, the the accused, the suspect side, they win, they've been discharged and acquitted, which is amounting about 6.4%. You see, the the conviction rate is very high for the MSCC cases. Definitely, of the convicted person, court of appeal, or even the federal court, high court of appeal, even at the court of appeal also. For the appeal cases, what I would like to
Still a lot.
even for the appeal cases, there will be 1/3, 2/3 lah. I mean, the appeals at the higher level, they manage to turn over their case, successful to discharge, win their case. It's only 1/3 only.
Thank you,
Okay,
Mr. Ko.
this is,
I know it's still a lot
Sure.
of information you want to share with this student. So I think better after this forum, try to find Mr. Ko, get some more information. Thank you so much, Mr. Ko. Is it any question? Okay. The question is.
Thank you. I have another question. Mr. Ko, I'm from the media Karisama Johor. I am also an architect. Investigation of suspicious corruption cases in public or public sector, which sector is more challenging from your opinion?
Wow.
Thank you.
Still popular, Mr. Ko.
So asking, thank you. It's a good question.
Yeah.
You would like to know which sector, right? Perhaps the public sector, the government side, or the corporate sector, the private sector, which are more challenging and have more number of cases per se. Yes, this is why I refer to the fact and figures. But in the perception, of course, most of the people will say, definitely the government side, the government is very corrupt and so on. Why this is just a perception? Why did they have this kind of perception as such? Just because most of the time, the power with certain power, they be given certain power and on the public office. They have the power to do the approval for a lot of aspect. A lot of business you need, the businesses, what activity you need a license, permit, and so on. Right? Okay, so people think the government side is more worse in the corruptions. Based on statistic, anggap ikut kategori lah. Last 2 years, year 2021 and year 2022. You see, based on this statistic of tanggapan, in the public sector, the government side, and various grade lah, as low as the clerical clerk, to the officer, or even the higher management, top management, the director or director general. In this government side public sector, there are about 411 been arrested. Year 2021. Year 2022 is 323. Public sector. But the private sector, on other hands, year 2021, there are 440. 440 over the 411. More or less like equally, I said, not much. But back to last year, the private sector, the figure jumped up 586 as compared to 320 something, 22. You see, most of the case the occurrence of the incident in private sector is not being exposed. You see, and a lot of the management, even the bosses, they choose to they still take some majority among the private sector, the employer, the owner of the business. They try still to keep the issue, the things under the carpet. You know, corruption is not only the it happen in the listed company. Any listed company been backsmell of the corrupt practice by anyone for their employee, definitely the share price will drop very significantly within days. There's why some management, they don't, you know. Okay, so what can I say? Actually, it's equally challenged and equally being rampant from both sectors. But to overcome it, that's why MNCC also took the amendment of the new act. There's bring in a new section back to year 2020, 3 years ago. We bring in the new section 17A capital, which is the criminal corporate liability. So the corporate liability for those commercial organizations out there, for them, under this section, there's an offense. If any of the agent, your employee, your vendor, commit the offenses, and these the company owners, the company itself, the commercial organization is liable to the offense. Not only interpersonal capacity, but the company, the entity itself. This is a new amendment, coupling with a huge penalty, you know. The huge penalty under this section 17A is 1 million ringgit penalty, huge penalty. It's very severe. Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Ko.
I'm sorry, I have last question. I have a last question, and sorry
Last
for
question.
Mr. Barber or Mr. Koi.
Mr. Baldi. Oh, yeah.
I am a politician, a politician speech. They say like, I'm doing corruption is more than my corruption. The money, and I using a wrong way to do the right things. Most of the politicians, their speech like this, and how do MACC will respond this? This is my question.
Can I know where you got that statement or the evidence? You got it from media or where? Or just general question from you? Oh, just question from you. Is it okay? So, Babi, you want to answer that question? Okay, thank you.
Corruption is corruption, full stop. I like MACC Act 2009, yeah? Tuan Zul mentioned all the offences, section 20. If you look at the cases that are in the court, I just get a quotation from, again, Sultan, our late HRH, His Royal Highness Sultan of Perak, and also the Lord President, and became our Agong later. Definition of corruption. Okay, listen carefully. Corrupt means doing an act that is done. Corruption is doing an act knowing that the act is wrong. Doing with evil intention. Keyword, evil intention. Purposely doing an act. Purposely doing an act which the law forbids. I repeat the whole sentence again. Corrupt means doing an act knowing that the act is done wrong, doing so with evil intention, purposely doing an act which the law forbids. This was stated by His Royal Highness, the decision of, you all are too young now, we will know better. In the case of public prosecutor versus Harun Idris. Harun Idris was the Mantri Besar of Selangor. Yeah? This classic statement, definition of corruption, you cannot go wrong. So I would stick to this and also the act and say that you can donate, but corruption is evil intention. Nobody puts money in your bank, nobody puts money in your account and say, I don't know, so and so donated to me. Yeah? God donated to me or whoever donated to me. When will you tell me yourself, when you put money in your bank, suddenly? There was a case yesterday, a couple of million went to the bank of somebody accidentally, yeah? But nobody will put money in your bank and say, nah, this is a donation for you, unless we are God gifted, you know. But it's always the evil intention. There's never a good intention in corruption. So whatever donation you can give, the ill money that comes in, you want to give us as a donation. When you get caught, it's still corruption. That's my version of, my understanding.
Yeah, perhaps I can add on a little bit, just comment further. Corruption is not limited to bribery, like, abuse of power and doing a false claim in order to deceive your employer. Also under the category. Actually, bribery is just offering and receiving the bribe. Corruption is much bigger picture. Anything can corrupt under the sun, see. Right? So okay, that is the thing one. And don't merely depend on the labeling of the act, The corruption may become in various forms. Besides the monetary values, the job offers opportunity, just now they mentioned the discount, the unlawful discount only offered to interested party. It's not applicable to all. So that discount, somebody people take commission, kickback. Don't merely based on this one. For MSCC, during our investigation, we were hearing the kickback or commission, but we need the others fact or the testament from the other witnesses, right, to thoroughly verify whether it's a legalized commissions. Usually the commission which is legalized is prescribed public and is allowed by the employer. But those we receive under table, you receive secretly, it's not prescribed by your rules and regulation. That one definitely not commissions. This is under table money. Okay? Okay. Yeah. Then just now, one more to add on. Beside the actor shield, the actual activity, the conduct you're doing. Mr. Babir mentioned it. The menstrual side is the evil intention, the bad intentions. Why you are doing that? Okay, the motive. Okay, this is all the necessary ingredient to proven the case in the court. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ku. I got a lot. We got a lot of information, and I believe that you still have a lot of information, knowledge to share with us. But I think time is up already. So, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, this is the end of our forum today. Thanks to all the panel members, and give a big clap to them. Thank you for sharing with us your knowledge and information to all of us. All these forums provides for us a lot of benefit. Okay. From my side, sorry for any shortcomings throughout the operation of this forum, and sorry for my vocal today, my sounds. Okay. Thanks again for all of you for coming today, especially from outside from SUC, from just now from where? Community, NGO, Karen, and also, yeah, I saw one of from College MDIS, is it? Thank you, Miss Anissa, the head of General Studies, and I think the other is our student. Okay, thank you, and see you again in another discussion with our MSCC. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Bambang and the panel members. Thank you for the good insights, and I hope everyone here have learned a lot. A round of applause to them, please. Next, I would like to invite Mr. Mok Chek Hao, Chairman of Board of Governors of SUC, for the presentation of souvenirs. The first souvenir is for Senior Assistant Commissioner Muhammad Nur Lukman bin Samingan, Head of Education, Community Education MACC. Followed by Mr. Devin G. Nagapan, Executive Director of Malaysian Association of Private Colleges and Universities. Next, for the first panel member, Mr. Balbir Singh Jesse, Member of Transparency International Malaysia. The second panel member, Assistant Commissioner Gu Lik Chi, Head Inspection and Consultation Unit, MACC Johor. Our third panel member, Mr. Andy Wong Wee Hao, President of the Student Union, Southern University College. Followed by our moderator, Dr. Bambang Suhartono bin Muhammad Said, lecturer from Department of Languages and Studies, Southern University College. Next, Assistant Commissioner Zul Azmi bin Yahya, Deputy Director of Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission Melaka. Finally, for Deputy Director of Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission Johor, Senior Assistant Commissioner Sheikh Hamadi bin Sheikh Abdul Hamid. Thank you, Mr. Mo. Please remain on stage. Next, we would like to invite Senior Assistant Commissioner Sheikh Hamadi bin Sheikh Abdul Hamid to the stage to present a plaque to Mr. Mok Chek Hao as a token of appreciation. Next, I would like to invite Mr. Devin G. Nagapan, Executive Director of Malaysian Association of Private Colleges and Universities, to deliver his closing speech.
Students, please bear with me, yeah? Just a few more minutes and we'll be done, okay? First, let me finish off with some formalities, but before addressing our VIPs and everyone present, can you hear me at the back there? Yes, no? If you can't hear me, put up your hand. You can hear me. Now, first of all, I need to say, on a Saturday morning, when I was a student too those days, yeah? I know what I like to do on a Saturday morning when there are no classes. What do you like to do? Sleep, I'm sure, correct? The fact that you have left your sleep and you have come here to listen to what we have to say about corruption and how we can fight corruption, that itself, I believe, is a commitment on your parts, and having recognized how serious corruption is and willing to work with the authorities, especially here the Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission, who have organized this event to fight corruption to the end. Now, I know there's been an information overload on a Saturday morning. Anti-corruption, anti-corruption, anti-corruption from every corner, right? Now let us get you back to your normal senses. And to do that, I think you people should give yourselves, the students, yeah? You people, the students, should give yourselves a very big hand. Give yourselves a big hand. I applaud you, all of you here, for having sacrificed your Saturday morning and being with us. Thank you. So let me continue. Hey, that doesn't mean my speech is over, yeah? You behave yourselves and listen to me carefully. I'll finish it in 7 minutes. You don't, I'll drag it for 1 hour. Choice is yours. Respected Mr. Mok Chek Hau, Chairman, Board of Governors, Southern University College. Respected Senior Assistant Commissioner, Sheikh Hamadi, Sheikh Abdul Hamid, Deputy Director, MACC Johor. Senior Assistant Commissioner, Tuan Muhammad Nur Lokman bin Samingan. I have some things to say about him later. Assistant Commissioner Tuan Zulazmi Yahya, Deputy Director, MACC Malacca. Professor Dr. Teh Giok Bee, a good friend of mine, right, who has made this possible here today. Puan Haja, is it right? Panelists, forum. Apart from that, yes, there are other MACC officers here. I think some of them forgot to address you all. Thank you very much for being here. Some of you have even been here yesterday. Where's Puan Alice? Yeah, who has worked very hard. I think she worked with Dr. Tan from SUC, Encik Amir from SUC, right? Thank you. This event today is going in such a smooth manner from the beginning to the end due to the efforts of all these people. Yeah? Some of us are just here today, and I just got here on Thursday, but the work started much before that. And these MACC officers, Dr. Tan, Mr. Amir, and I mean, not forgetting Dr. Teh, right, where we had our online discussions, she had so many questions and so on. That has what has made it possible today. I think this is a very successful event. I thank all of them for it. The media representatives as well, okay? Now, I've attended a few of these talks. I went to Sabah. I met up with Tuan Karuna there, right? Tuan Robi Shim, Then in Sarawak, I met with Tuan Zaki, right? And also Tuan Nazli, who had come from Putrajaya to attend the talk in, or he was a panel member in Sarawak. Then, of course, to Penang, I met up with the directors from Perlis and Penang, Tuan Roslan and Tuan Sabri from Perak, and so on. Many things I picked up along the way, apart from what, of course, I read. Yeah? My conclusion, you all have listened to so many things over here about corruption, fighting corruption, and so on. My conclusion, for corruption to take place, somebody must have the power, position, authority. If there's no power, there's no position, there's no authority to make a decision or to influence someone else's decision, right? You have the power, the authority, position to make decisions or to influence another person's decision-making process, coupled with the opportunity to do that. If there's power but there's no opportunity, you can't be corrupt. Okay? Now, when you have this, that is the power to influence or to make the decision and the opportunity to do so, then you may ask for money or whatever other favors. If there is no asking at that point, I suppose corruption ends there. Right? There's no bribery if you don't ask. Is that correct? No. Sometimes you don't ask, but people give you. I'm sure the MACC officers, you all know that. You don't ask, but people give you. You're stopped at a traffic light and somebody reaches to the pocket and says, hey, please let me go. Right? Or you're a decision maker, someone wants a plan to be approved, they come and give you money. Please approve the plan for me. So sometimes it is, you don't ask, but people give you. So the next thing, the first thing is don't ask. Then the second thing is don't give. So if somebody asks you and you don't give, it also ends there. Then you go to MACC, like, you know what they said, come and complain to MACC. Then we will take action. Because if you don't complain to them, if you don't file a complaint, then you are also guilty. Right? And the third don't, right? The third don't is don't take. So don't ask, don't give, and don't take. I believe these are the three important things. Okay? But then again, of course, we saw that people are very creative. Corruption is not just there. There are also claims. There are also, if anyone here knows what I'm saying, there are also birds that can go missing. Right? And then there could be some foul play there. Okay? So basically that's it. But to control, of course, there is the National Anti-Corruption Policy and so on, which was explained very well. But we can have all the policies, we can have the guiding principles, we can have strategy, right? But at the end of the day, it's all like traffic lights. We can put controls. You can have a traffic light, but if somebody wants to beat the traffic light, they will still beat it. So it has to start from somewhere. All these talks, all these guidelines, all these strategy priorities, all will not work if anti-corruption doesn't start from inside here. It is within you. And where does that come from? Not necessarily from the schools or the secondary schools or universities. It actually starts from home. Sometimes that is where it fails. I think Mr. Balbe spoke about those things earlier also. Morality. It has to start from home. I'll give you something that really happened. I'm not making up this story. Because my wife is a secondary school teacher and she knows, teachers from other schools. And There was one instance where, those days there used to be school fees, very small amount, I think about 30 ringgit for a year. So it so happened that in the house, a conversation had taken place. The child probably asked the mother, I need to pay the fees today, the teacher is going to ask. So the mother had said, don't worry, tonight there'll be opera, your father will pay the fees tomorrow. This is a primary school child who goes to school, and when the teacher asked her for the money for the fees, the child tells the teacher, tonight my father is going for operasi, tomorrow I'll pay the fees. That's it. It is already in the child that this can happen. I can give you many other instances where I've had actually given some money. I'm sorry, I have. I'm sure many of us had that experience. Driving at 96 kilometers per hour in a 90 kilometer zone. Right? And somebody says, brings a book and tells you something. Dengan ikhlas ya, Encik, dengan ikhlas ya. It happens. And then someone, another day, different place comes and says, here, this is it, you have exceeded the speed limit, and macam mana nak selesai ya, macam mana nak selesai. Those days I would have said, okay lah, kita selesai sekarang, saya tak nak pergi mahkamah. But nowadays I say, cara nak selesai, Encik, lepaskan saya lah. That's the best way selesai lah. Oh, tak boleh, Encik. Then saman lah. Now that's it. Then saman tak apa, Encik, saman saya. I think we must come to that. Even if they ask, don't give. Tak apa, Encik, saman saya. So corruption stops there. So if every one of us can say, tak apalah, Encik, saman saya, that's it. Corruption stops. And they will realize that nobody is going to give you. Everybody says saman. Then they will stop asking. You see? Personal experiences I'm sharing with you today. Alright? So where does this come from? It comes from the family, and I've had long discussions with Tuan Lokman. I told you I'll talk about Tuan Lokman. Tuan Lokman is one person with whom I've had many meetings in Putrajaya. And of course, the other person I have to mention here is Cikgu Wan Nur Aisha. Some of you may know her. She has guided me a great deal in putting this RR 2023 with the higher education institutions to make it work. She has worked very closely with us and with Tuan Lokman as well. Right? And with him, I've had many discussions. They are reaching out to schools, to secondary schools, to universities, but all these talks may work to a certain extent. All the guiding principles can work to a certain extent. All the strategic priorities can work to a certain extent. But it has to start maybe even from the kindergarten, the primary school, the secondary school. And how do you reach the kindergarten kid? You go and present all this to them, the 5GP and the priorities, it's not going to work. The primary school is not going to work. The secondary school is not going to work. How does it work? Maybe we have to come up with a cartoon like, Tom and Jerry or not? I'm sure many of you know Tom and Jerry. Where Tom finds new and new ways to be corrupt and Jerry exposes him every time. That will leave an impression in the children's heads. That's how it should be started. Games. All youngsters here go home, probably you're thinking, why is he taking so much of my time? I want to go home and play computer game. Correct? That's it. We have to create games. Those are the things that will leave an impression that we have to fight corruption among the younger ones. Of course, in the university level, yeah, we can do that at higher education level, but still I feel to reach out to the younger generation, we have to have the games. Yeah? So anyway, having said all that, I shall not take too much of your time. I just have to say some thank yous. There are just too many thank yous to say, so I don't know where to start. But first of all to Tuan Lokman and team. Yeah, please. Without Tuan Lokman, Cikgu Wan and team, I won't be here. The management of Southern University College will not be here. And the rest of you, all students, you will not be here. Okay? So their team is number one to be said thank you to. Number two, of course, is to MAPCO because I represent MAPCO. Though I represent MAPCO, there is a larger organization, which means all the institutions that are members of MAPCO, Malaysian Association of Private Colleges and Universities, of which I'm very happy and very proud to say Southern University College is one of our senior members in Johor. Though we have other members, we have a Raffles University, we got NUMED and so on, even though the universities we chose, as you see, a university college because they have been with us. And Professor Dr. Teh Gyok Bee has always been in touch and contributed much. So we have to honor Southern University College. Thank you very much, Dr. Teh, and thank you very much, Mr. Mok. Then, I also have to say thank you, as I said, to Dr. Tan, Jamir, and Puan Alice from MACC who have put this thing together. Thank you so much. The rest of the MACC officers who were here yesterday, who have secluded themselves to one corner there today, but they've done a great deal as well. The moderator, Dr. Bambang, thank you to the panel members who have made this successful. I think Tuanku had a lot of questions to answer today. Thank you so much. And not forgetting our MC, please give her a big hand because she sat with me, and sitting with me and going through process is never easy because I'm a very process-driven fellow. So step by step by step, it has to happen. And so she sat with me yesterday and it went on very well today. Thank you very much to her. Everybody else whom I haven't thanked, thank you very much. But then the success of HARA 2023 until now, whether it be Sabah, Sarawak, Pahang, Penang, Johor, and next week in KL, will only be possible next week, has only been possible, has only been successful because of you students. The rest of us can all be seated here. If you students didn't turn up, we'll all talk to each other and go back home. Right? So, thank you again. I'd like to ask all MACC officers, staff of SUC, and you students yourselves to give you all a very big hand. With that, let's together unite and fight corruption. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Devon. Now, we would like to request all VIPs, the panel members, and the moderator to be on the stage for a group photo.